So I'm going to start before the 3-minute mark because it's actually 3:36 a.m. and I don't actually expect anyone to show up while I'm doing the live stream. And if anyone does, one or two people. So this will be a recorded witching hour release. I was not going to do it, but since I'm still awake, even though I am tired, I'm still up. So, and I do have a couple of pages of things written down. So I decided to go ahead and, just leave this here for, the people who will catch this later, earlier in the morning on Friday morning or whenever you catch it, these witching hour releases and the messages are timeless. And I do believe that when you find and hear the message that it is the right time. Okay. So we're listening to Meditative Mind, and this is the Awakened Intuition. It's 852 hertz. Okay, and this frequency removes fear, self-doubt, and subconscious fears. Okay, and so as you guys know, I like to listen to the Meditative Mind videos in the background. They are very effective at tuning your fine tuning your soul song and just setting the tone for whatever it is that you want or need to go forward. So basically, I named this video Butterflies and Snakes, and I was kind of still thinking about the other tarot reader who had the dream about the butterflies who were following her to the treasure. And then when she opened the treasure box, it was so brilliant. And the light from it basically came out of the treasure box. And when it did, all of the butterflies that had been following her through the forest to the treasure, they all turned to snakes and fell to the ground. And, I think about that dream a lot because it just seems to be an extension of my dream about the butterflies. And, of course, I interpret dreams. And so I feel that I got some things out of that dream that even she didn't get, and it's because all of us has, we all have different pieces of the puzzle, and that is what is so fascinating about being on this path, and being awakened to what your purpose is. So being able to recognize the other your soul group, and the other light workers who are illuminated, and who are actually have been of assistance and help even to us. um, it just makes you in awe of the divine, overall. So basically, I've been thinking about the snakes. And I really did feel like, when she opened the treasure chest, that the light from it, represented being illuminated. And once the truth of these people were illuminated at the core, they were snakes in truth. And so, it was, rightfully so that they would fall to the ground, um, because they are the earthbound people. Okay. So basically, the light from the treasure is what revealed the truth of the snakes. Okay. And so basically, this it's very symbolic of the things being revealed and us being in the book of Revelations, if you were to go to the Bible as a reference. But there's a lot of other religious texts, or quote unquote spiritual texts, um, you know, that have been written other than the Bible. But if you want to use that as a frame of reference, then we would definitely be in the book of Revelations. And again, it's all about things being revealed. And, we can all look in even our personal lives, and everything that's going on in our society right now. A lot is being revealed. Things are being disclosed. Things are being exposed. And what's being revealed basically are the people, places, and things that don't resonate with our soul frequency, as we are awakening and beginning to be aware of ourselves. The soul frequency is very, you know we are being very made very aware of the things that don't resonate. Okay, and some of those things are shockingly being taken out of our lives. But even as those things are being sometimes involuntarily taken from out of our lives by the divine, we are also being presented with opportunities for transformation. Okay, so the transformation being symbolized by the butterflies, and a lot of the light workers who are here now having dreams and visions about butterflies. Welcome to the one person who's stopping in. Again, I just started doing the release because I felt that probably no one was going to be up, and so I'm just basically recording the release for whoever's going to catch it later. But welcome. This is about butterflies and snakes, and I was talking about the dream of the. I don't know if you were here for the last when I was talking about the other tarot reader who had a dream about the butterflies that followed her to the treasure chest and then turned to snakes. And so basically, I was talking about how the what's being revealed are the people, places, and things that don't resonate with our soul frequency. Okay, and as they are being revealed, we are shockingly being made aware that a lot of these people are not who they say they are. Okay, and the more that we align with our own heart center, the more we're going to be able to see things, the more that is going to be revealed. And the more that we align ourselves with our heart center, the more we align ourselves with that unified field of unconditional love and light, which I do feel was represented by the treasure that the tarot reader was actually leading the fake butterflies too. Okay, so talking about the fake and false light workers, the false twin flames, the narcissists. Okay, just a minute. Okay, so yeah, so basically that's basically what I feel like those butterflies represented, because on this path, we are going to notice a lot of false people who talk about or pretend to have had a spiritual awakening, pretend to have, been an empath the whole time, pretend to, just be one of the chosen ones. Okay. And so there are going to be ways that we're going to be able to separate the snakes from the real butterflies. Okay. And so the butterflies representing the actual chosen, light workers, one of the 144,000 or one of the 2 million. I feel that the snakes are part of the 2 million, okay, who were originally dispersed. But they represent, the snakes represent the part of the light worker population that is actually not going to complete the journey. Okay, so they are going to basically become part of the collective. Okay, but they pretend to have done the work. They pretend to have the knowledge. They pretend to be getting the downloads. They pretend to have open heart centers, and their third eyes are open, their crowns are open, and it's all pretend. And so I'm basically want to give us some tips on how to recognize these, the false teachers, okay, the ones who represented the snakes that were in the dream. Okay. And so basically, what I was talking about, with us, the reason why we are able to now see these people for the truth of who they are, as the snakes that they truly are, and not the butterflies that they are pretending to be, is because the more that we align with our heart center, the more we align ourselves with the unified field of love and light. And so we possess within us what that tarot reader was basically leading those people to, which was that treasure chest, which was so brilliant and so filled with treasure that the light from it illuminated the truth of who they were. Okay, so the treasure represents what we have within us, and we have the ability and the discernment to separate these people from the true, the chosen people, and the ones who have actually done the work. But as we align ourselves with this unified field, aligning ourselves with our heart center, you basically, because this is what I've noticed, since I feel more balanced and aligned, that a lot of the things that, I used to worry about have kind of fallen away. The doubts are gone. The fears are gone. You know what I'm saying? The anxiety has fallen away. And so if you're not here yet, you are very close, okay? Because again, the people who are led to me are like right behind me on the path, okay? Or right next to me on the path. So if you're not already feeling this, it is going to be coming. Okay. And so basically all of those things are starting to melt away because the heart is fearless by nature. Okay. And that basically where the term, having a lot of heart comes from. Okay. The heart is the source of your divinity. Okay. So that heart center represents that treasure that was illuminating the butterflies, that, the truth of the butterflies, that when they were illuminated, fell to the ground and showed the truth of who they were, which was basically they were snakes. Okay. And a lot of us have basically had this experience in real time with people that we had allowed to be close to us, and didn't see the truth of who they were. They were pretending to be something that they weren't. Okay, so these butterflies, or these fake butterflies, represent these false teachers, the false healers, the false people, the false twin flames, the narcissists who have, been in our lives that we have recently had to let go of, or who you may be preparing to let go of. Okay, but it's basically because you are aligned with your heart center, and it is illuminating the truth of who these people are. Okay, so basically, you know unconditional love is something that you can only really be able to emit if you are one of the chosen. Okay, it's basically being in a state of it's a natural state of it's a natural state of being for the light workers. Okay, and it is not a state of mind, but it's a state of being. And for those who are rooted in the 3D and rooted in the matrix, for the narcissists, for the false teachers and the false butterflies, they see love as being something that is rooted in the mind, okay, and not in the and not, it's basically it's a state of mind for them and not a state of being. Okay, so that's a big difference between the true light workers, who is just a state of being, meaning that it's basically it's who you are at the core. Okay, so it's not anything that you have to pretend or try to act, as if it's who you are. Okay, so basically it's basically being aware of the truth of who you are. Okay, so basically when you are aware of that, your senses become acutely aware of anything that's not balanced. Okay, when you're aware of the truth that you are love and light, and anything that doesn't go with that, anything that is volatile, that is disturbing your peace, that is trying to disagree, what I'm saying, or bring something into your world that's not real, the more that you align with your truth, the more that you're going to be annoyed by things that are not balanced in your reality. Okay, and the more that your spirits are going to be annoyed, and which is why a lot of the things that you were trying to tolerate in your lower self, these narcissistic people, or the people who were just intolerable for whatever reason, your spirits was not having it, and this is why they literally snatch these situations, people, places, and things out of your life. Okay, so because these people represent an imbalance, and in order for you to continue ascending, you had to achieve that balance. Okay, the imbalance between the heart and the mind becomes very acute the more that the more that you ascend, the more that you grow. Okay, because the mind often conflicts with the heart. Okay, which is why we need to quiet the mind when we go into meditation. Okay, and when we go into states of where we're trying to be peaceful, the mind has nothing to do with it. Okay, the mind is full of chatter, it's full of delusions and deceptions, and fears, and everything else. The mind at times can be the devil's playground, just as much as it can be a place where we meet with the Most High. So the sacred place that cannot be corrupted, that cannot be entered into by the darkness, is your heart center. Okay, so this is where the true light workers and empaths are centered at. I mean, if you're an empath, you are centered in your heart, and if you're an empath, you are a light worker. Okay, so you begin to notice the imbalance between your heart and mind, and you begin to center yourself more in the heart. Okay, because you realize that the mind has misled you in the past. It can mislead you because again, it conflicts with the heart. Okay, which always knows the truth. Again, this is why we have to surpass the mind. This is why we have things such as transcendental meditation. And basically what you're transcending is the mind. Okay, because again, in the mind is the mental construct of the matrix, is the illusion of separation. Okay, so again, we go into meditation, we have to surpass the mind, because the mind blocks that connection between the heart and the soul. Okay, but the heart is always one with the soul, and the soul is always one with the great spirit. Okay, so connected through the heart center to not only the great spirit, but the unified field of unconditional love that exists between light workers and empathic starseed beings that are on this planet and throughout the cosmos. Okay, and so there are going to be a lot of people who don't possess this capacity because they're not centered in their hearts, but they see that you are. They see that you are a true representative of cosmic love, and they want to experience that. Okay, so they think that if they think that they can become that, they think that it's a state of mind. Okay, and they think that they can think themselves into being a quote unquote light worker, and they don't understand that it's a state of being. It's something that you just are. It's something that you have to be. Okay, and if you just weren't created this way, if you're not hardwired to be centered in the heart, then this is not something that you can fake. Okay, so to be centered in the heart, you have to have been done the spiritual work. Okay, and all of the spiritual work that we have done has afforded us the ability to be able to tap into this cosmic consciousness. Okay, it's a realm that the mind could never enter. Okay, let alone comprehend. Okay, the mind can't enter the realm of the heart. The mind can't enter heaven. Only the heart enters heaven. Okay, it is a state of being and not a state of mind. Okay, so it's not something that you can think yourself into or manipulate yourself into. It's not something that you can fake yourself into. Okay, so if this is your calling, you are going to be centered in your heart. You're going to be empathic by nature. You're going to have a strong calling to a strong desire and yearning to be of service to humanity, or and to the earth in some way, shape, or form. Okay, and your challenge is going to be to stay centered in the heart. Because again, I talked about moving and teetering between dimensions. Okay, and literally this teetering between the dimensions is the moving between the heart and mind, moving between the higher and lower realms, between the third, fourth, and fifth dimensions. Okay, and so it's literally teetering between heaven and earth. Okay, and so those who are still operating from the level of mind are the earthbound. Okay, they represent the snakes who wanted to pretend to have wings and to fly and to be butterflies. But again, once they were illuminated by the truth, by the light of what was coming out of that treasure chest, they fell to the ground because they literally are the earthbound people, and that is where they belong. Okay, and so they are not able to enter into the heavenly realms because they don't know how. That you have, the only way that you enter into that is through the portal of your heart center. Okay, and so, again, those who are still operating out of the mind, they are those earthbound people. And so, they are basically still immersed in their illusions. Okay, so basically, their teachings and the things that they talk about are going to, be representative of the illusion. And so, just be aware, because there are some people, there's a lot of them. And I believe this is why the tarot reader had the dream that she had, because it was basically to let us know about the charlatans and the false teachers, the fake butterflies who are really snakes when illuminated, who are on this path and basically trying to follow the real teachers, the real butterflies to the treasure, and basically, they are not centered in their heart. And we need to be able to know how to recognize these people, because what they are doing is basically slowing down the evolution. Okay, the true light workers are here to raise the vibration by holding the love and light and by sharing it. And these people who are not sharing the correct information are basically slowing down that evolution. Okay, their teachings reinforce the illusion of separation and not the unity consciousness of the higher dimensions. Okay, so true light workers are in service to love. Okay, their religion is love. That their premise that they come from is love, whether it's tough love or whatever. It's love by the way it feels. And and basically what their cause is. False light workers are the fake butterflies, again, who turned into the snakes when they were illuminated. They are earthbound, so they are going to be basically reinforcing the illusion of separation. Okay, and they like to discredit the true light workers, and they support people who are false. Okay, who are the false light workers like themselves, and in doing so, again, they are reinforcing that separation and slowing down the planetary ascension. Okay, and if Gaia does not ascend, then none of us will ascend. Okay, this is why it's so important to stay focused and to stay centered in your purpose. Okay, the false ones, you can recognize them, because when they, when they're teaching, they're not really teaching. They're doing more of like gossiping. They're hating. They're negating the truth that's being spoken by the true light workers. They feel the need to always point out who's real and who's not. And again, they tend to support the people who are not real. They pour a very low vibrational energy into this planet. Okay, and their intentions are to gain clout, followers, you know what I'm saying, and to reinforce the belief systems that they hold in their own minds that are rooted again in in physicality, that are rooted in the mind and not in the heart. They basically get followers and quote unquote flying monkeys for clout, to build up their false egos, to support their delusions, so that they are able to steal energy from those people. Okay, and from also, they steal energy from the real light workers by stealing ideas and stealing the ideas, twisting it around, perverting it, corrupting the ideas, and trying to claim that energy as their own. Okay, they will say the words love and light, but their teachings and the beliefs and the things that they talk about don't contain any of that. Okay, they know that the real light workers are the true examples of unconditional cosmic and divine love, and they gravitate towards the true light workers and our energies. Okay, so that they are centered in their minds, and they cannot come from a heart-centered space. Okay, so they mimic the true light workers. Okay, while they mimic us, but they also simultaneously attack. Okay, with the evil eye, with jealousy and resentment of the fact that we are truly um, the chosen ones. Okay, the solution to these false teachers, these snakes, parading themselves as butterflies, is to basically get as much of the real information that you're getting through your downloads out to as many people as possible. Okay, the false teachers are going to be the ones who are gossiping, they're lying to get people to join them in their delusions and fantasies. Again, they are stealing energy from their viewers. They're stealing energy from the other light workers. Okay, and their idea of service is to basically lash out in this fake outrage at the real light workers for being in disagreement with their false mental constructs that are rooted in religion, or whatever fake or false matrix based constructs that their beliefs and their own personal beliefs are rooted in. Okay, they are still stuck in the matrix. Okay, still stuck in their minds, in this mental, physical 3D construct. Okay, and since they cannot tap into the heart center, which is the source of cosmic energy and love and light, they steal it from other people, from us, from the light workers. Okay, these people are, they have distinct narcissistic characteristics. Okay, they are controlling, they're delusional, they're in survival mode, they feel entitled. Okay, they are envious, they appear as the incubus and succubus demons to lure light workers and twin flames out of their divine unions. They lower the vibrations of the divine counterpart that they attach themselves to. Their intention is to lower the vibrations of both of the divine counterparts by traumatizing one and by engaging the other in lower vibrational activities. Either way, they are serving the devil's purpose, which is to keep the vibration of the planet low. Okay, so we need to learn how to recognize these people. They are planted on the path. They are, quote unquote, the devil's co-workers. They are snakes parading as butterflies. Okay, so basically you can recognize them by just basically listening, observing, being discerning, and seeing that they are not centered in their hearts. Okay, true light workers are heart centered, empathic beings. Good morning, Eye of the Tiger. I didn't expect anybody to really be here. Yeah, I started at like 3:30, so I was just like, I'm just gonna go on and like record this as a live. But I am glad that you caught me. I'm talking about the snakes and butterflies. Basically, the snakes representing the false teachers, the false prophets, false healers, false twin flames, the narcissists who parade as empaths on this spiritual path, and who are basically slowing down the evolution, and parading as the butterflies, who basically represent the empathic starseed light workers, who are here to help raise the vibration of the planet. And so I'm basically trying to give some pointers on how to recognize, the difference, and how to, and basically, how to deal with it, because, again, they are slowing down the evolution, by polluting the energy, by spreading gossip, by spreading lies, by, again, getting people to join them in their matrix based delusions. And thereby they are stealing energy from these very people, and stealing energy from the true light workers by literally trying to steal ideas and, put their own twists on it and negate the truth that the real light workers are speaking. And basically, the way that you recognize them is to realize that if you're discerning, you will automatically see that they are not heart-centered beings. They're not empathic in nature. Okay, they cannot hear guidance from the angelic realms or the realms of the ancestors. They mimic telepathy. Okay, so they try to fake as if they, are getting downloads, as if they are telepathic, as if they are, they can read tarot cards, as if they are clairaudient, clairsentient. They mimic those things. Okay, they claim to be, they're not basically who they claim to be. Okay, they are basically, when you can notice them when they like claim that they're reading tarot cards, or they're dealing with spirit, and they will claim that they're being ordered to do things by spirit, or they're being told. And spirit does not ever order you to do anything. Your freedom of choice is always being respected by spirit. Your guides give suggestions, they recommend things, they're not, they suggest, they recommend, they guide you. They don't make you do anything. They don't demand that you do anything. Okay, but the ego based people, they think that they can, again, become love. Okay, and they think that it's a state of mind, and so they think that they can act like they're loving, and it's not a state of mind. When you're a true light worker, it's a state of being. You don't act like you're loving. You truly are. Okay, and we have to know how to know the difference by being discerning. Your love is not a state of mind. It's not something that you're pretending to be, or that an act that you put on, but it's something that you are, and it's something that other people, if you are empathic in nature, then real recognizes real, and that a person's empathy, that their love, that their light is real. That the knowledge that they're sharing with you is coming from a sacred place. It is coming from divinity, and it's not based in the physical. It's not representing the illusion of separation, but it is basically making you aware of the unity. Okay, the unity consciousness is talking about oneness. It's talking about again, it's talking about unity. It's not talking about separation or competition. It's not gossiping. It's not lying. You know what I'm saying? It's talking about bringing things together and talking about healing. Okay, and so we really need to know how to know the difference in the discernment, because there are a lot of false butterflies out here. Okay, they're really snakes when they are illuminated. Okay, so they think that they can become love by acting like love, because they think it's a state of mind, but they don't feel love like an empath. An empath just is love. Okay, we feel the love. We don't have to try to act like love, but we become love. It's a state of being for us. Okay, so true light workers follow our hearts, our heart's passions, and not the desires of our mind. Okay, and the false teachers, the false healers, they come from their mental space with their teachings and with everything. Okay, the higher consciousness of the true light worker is obtained by dissolving the ego and by balancing the divine feminine, the divine masculine energies within the self. Okay, and basically you can tell the difference. Again, if you are empathic in nature, then you are always coming from your heart-centered space. You are discerning, and real recognize real. So basically we have to learn how to trust that and not fall for the okie doke. Okay, so true light workers are consistently in service to love and humanity as a whole. They're not talking about one specific sector of, humanity. They're not always talking about, the group that they belong to. You know what I'm saying? That we are talking about humanity as a whole. Okay. They literally are a microcosm of the divine mother and father. Okay. And the false teachers are the exact opposite. Okay. um, as these higher dimensional energies continue coming in, the people who are centered in the mind are going to be extremely uncomfortable, okay? Because the energies that are coming in are meant to be integrated, and processed through the heart, the body, and the soul. Okay, so be discerning when you are around these people, because they are going to be reactive to this energy. Okay, they're not going to be doing well with it, because they're going to be trying to process it through their minds, and it's going to be driving a lot of them literally mad. Okay, because it's not meant to be processed through the mind. So those of us who are transducers by nature, who are natural transmutation devices of this energy, then you are naturally already processing this energy. Okay, but for those who are centered in their minds and are going to try to process this through their minds, they are going to become very reactive. And again, I would say just get out of their way. Okay, honor their choices and let them choose. They are going to be appearing, again, very narcissistic in nature, and they are the runners, okay, in the twin flame union. And I basically let them go. Okay, honor their choices and decision, and you choose what's best for you. Okay, because these people are centered in their minds. Their minds are filled with fear, delusions, and mental constructs that are based in things that are not real. Okay, so they are running from illusory enemies, and fighting imaginary, having imaginary arguments and fighting imaginary battles. Okay, and so basically get out of their way and let them live out their choices. Okay, yes, you have to distance yourself. I am the tiger if you want to remain high and in the higher realms. Okay, because only the heart can enter heaven. Okay, you can't enter you cannot enter heaven with the mind space and through the mind space. The heart is the portal through, is the portal that you enter through. Okay, it is a sacred portal to the divine and to the higher realms. Okay, and so this is why the empathic beings, who are naturally heart-centered beings, are the forerunners in the new earth. Okay, the children of love and light. You are, the winged ones who are spoken of in prophecy. Okay, bringing forth the new age. Okay, and so, the people who are centered in their minds are literally going to be going crazy, and, just having a very difficult time integrating. They're not going to be able to integrate this energy. Okay. But again, you are the forerunners. Okay. Basically, you've already been spoken of in prophecy. You're beginning to develop your wings now. Okay. Bringing in the golden age of Aquarius and unity consciousness. Okay, so your challenge is to stay heart centered, to stay focused, and to stay present in the present moment of now, because this is where all of your power resides, and to stay grounded at all times, because the dark ones are going to be trying everything they can to knock you off of your square. Okay, so if any time when you need to, understand that you do have an entourage of angels, ancestors, and spirit guides around you at all times. So don't be afraid. Don't ever hesitate to call on them for assistance. Okay, each and every day for assistance. Okay, for guidance, for whatever it is that you need. Okay, they are always with you. Okay, they love you unconditionally, and they want you to learn to love unconditionally and without fear. Okay, if you do that, then they are saying that your mission will be accomplished. Okay, and I'm just gonna leave it at this. Okay, it is 4:13 a.m. Thank you, Ivor the Tiger, for sharing this time and space with me. I do hope that you got something beneficial out of the message. Okay, and for all of the other people who will catch this later, I do hope that the message is also truly helpful for you as well. Okay, until we meet again, my people, keep it classy, keep it clean, and do what you got to do to make shit happen. I am the Tiger. Enjoy your Friday. And I will speak with you all later today. Peace, love, and light.